So we're here to solve this star battle by John Bulten. It's got a pretty unusual shape. It actually has the top 6 rows with no extra information. Those regions tell us what actually the rules of the puzzle tell us. There are 2 stars somewhere in these rows. And so the bottom of this puzzle is carrying a lot of weight. This one small region is a good place for beginners in star battle to focus. That's because we've got to get 2 stars in here and they can't be touching in adjacent cells. So the extremes of that region are where cells must go. That clears out the rest of that row. It gives us these 3 cells here that have to fill in with a space between. That completes that column as well with 2 stars. Over here we've got a shape just like the one at the start that again needs to have the stars separated from each other, finishes out that column. And we've actually finished out these rows as well with what's now on the left and right. So to get through this puzzle, we've got to work through the lampshade, and we can only get 1 star in one of these 2 cells, and the second star right here. That marks off this space, and right off of one of these nodes, we have to mark off these cells too, because they can't have adjacent stars near them. That leaves behind 4 cells that need to have a star in this 1x2 box and this 1x2 box, marks these spaces above. We can keep doing this, and so this is a good exercise in learning how to notate star battle puzzles, because we're going to put in where the 2 stars go, mark off the cells in the adjoining region, do that again, sort of come up to the top. In marking this across the whole space, you'll actually see some things. We can count 1, 2, 3, 4 stars in these 2 columns. So these cells aren't used. 4 stars in these columns. So we actually can get these placements. But the main thing that this puzzle will fall by is to be thinking about how a given star placement is going to force too many stars to move. And so let's look at this cell right here. And why is this important? It's these 2 notes. We effectively have to have one of these stars on the left and the other on the right. And so one of these stars is going to see this cell. A different way of describing that is if I put a star here, we must push both of those to the left, and that's going to have too many in this column. So I can't put a star here. I have to put a star in the cell to the right, and this star will hit all the interacting nodes. So it's going to move this to the right. It will move both of these to the right. That's now going to finish this column, put this green node to the left, which pushes this to the left, pushes this to the left, pushes this to the left. That finishes this column. This to the right, again to the right, again to the right, and we finish the puzzle. So a good example in this grid of how to get set with easy regions, but then really track the stars. While we couldn't fill in any of the lampshade at the start, we could eventually get these either or positions that have to flow out in the way we showed by having a critical cell that couldn't be moving 2 more stars to the left, putting too many in this column. So hopefully, while an easy puzzle, this gave you some things to track in future star battles. We'll see you again soon.